Tonight on NewsWatch, fallout from NSA monitoring, what new revelations could mean for America's relationships with its allies.
Plus, gay marriage across America, a look at which states could be the next ones to allow same-sex couples to wed.
And the power of the U.S. presidency and the executive branch, an exclusive look at how some titans tackled the subject in a recent debate. All this and more tonight on NewsWatch. Good evening. I'm Mark Martin.
And I'm Lori Johnson. After a weekend of protests and hard questions from allies, the White House says it will review U.S. surveillance activities.
Revelations that the NSA has tapped the phones of world leaders have created an international headache for the Obama administration.
John Waggy has more on the fallout in tonight's top story.
The progressive leaks from former NSA contractor Edward Snowden continue to create shockwaves that are playing havoc with U.S. foreign policy.
The secrets that have been revealed are doing significant damage to our bilateral relationships with Germany, with Mexico, with the other countries.
The revelation that the NSA tracked German Chancellor Angela Merkel's cell phone for years gets the most attention, but it happened with nearly 36 other leaders and millions of citizens in Europe and other parts of the world as well. Spain has summoned the U.S. ambassador after a Spanish newspaper reported that 60 million phone calls were monitored in Spain in just 1 month at the end of 2012. But many in Washington, including key Republicans, are concerned that all the scrutiny could damage efforts to protect against terrorist attack. Congressman Peter King defended the process on NBC's Meet the Press.
We've saved many lives in Germany because of the intelligence we've given them. The fact is there can be information that's being transmitted that can be useful to us and then ultimately useful to Germany.
Another congressman suggested that allies listening in on allies is a common practice and that the frenzy should simmer down.
This whole notion that we're going to go after each other on what is really legitimate protection of nation-state interests, I think is disingenuous.
The White House has been quick to put out the word that President Obama didn't know about the eavesdropping on world leaders when he said this back in August.
I don't have an interest, and the people of the NSA don't have an interest in doing anything other than making sure that where we can prevent a terrorist attack.
In his Monday briefing, White House Press Secretary Jay Carney said the administration hopes to finish its review of the surveillance programs by the end of the year.
We need to make sure that we're collecting intelligence in a way that advances our security needs and that we don't just do it because we can.
But it's difficult to determine what might make the matter go away, with so many leaders and so many media outlets in an uproar. John Waggy, CBN News.
Our chief political correspondent David Brody joins us now with more on this. David, how bad is this NSA scandal for the Obama administration and for the U.S. as a whole?
Well, it's bad, Mark. I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, Jay Carney at the White House briefing today got peppered with questions, and that's never a good sign for this White House. And look, Carney had to back off for a little bit and say, hey, we indeed are going to make some sort of changes here. We're going to have to figure this out. John Waggy pointed that out at the end of his piece. So there is going to be some sort of review. But look, I mean, let's remember where this president was in 2008. He was in front of the Brandenburg Gate in Germany, in front of tens and tens of thousands of people, talking about this new day in America and in the world. And now all of a sudden we have all of these leaders very upset with not just this administration, but specifically with President Obama. It has been, in essence, a 180 here, totally here. Mark?
Well, David, leaders from both parties say we rely on surveillance information to protect us from terrorists. It could be one of the few things both sides agree on, but could these revelations lead to more partisan fighting over privacy?
I don't think you're going to see so much partisan fighting. You may see a little bit of that on the edges, but I think what you're actually going to see is more Republicans, constitutional conservative Republicans like Rand Paul, Mike Lee, Ted Cruz, start to make the case that there are some real serious governmental privacy issues all the way back to the Patriot Act in 2001. They're going to start to make that case within the context of the Republican Party. So I think what you're going to see is once again, here we go again, Mark, a distance between the GOP establishment figures, the Mike Rogers that you just saw in that piece and some others like Boehner, and then the constitutional conservatives who are very concerned about the privacy issues of all Americans. And I think you're going to see more of a rift within the GOP than the GOP versus the Democrats.
The damage has been done. Will America be able to redeem itself on an international level?
Well, I think it's going to take some time. I don't think there's any question about that. And I think that the problem here for the administration is that Edward Snowden is still out there. And the last time I checked, he's got one of those modems or whatever you want to call it. He's got a fiber line and he's going to leak some more documents. So absolutely, there is going to be more trickling out here. And let's remember, there are already some European Union members saying, hey, wait a minute, we're not going to have any sort of trade negotiation with the United States. So there are a lot of trade deals in jeopardy here as well. So this is not just diplomatic. This could be economic as well.
All right, David, as always, thanks for your insights, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
And don't forget, for the latest from David, you can check out his blog and weekly show, The Brody File. Find them at our website, cbnnews.com.
More and more people in Washington and across the country are looking to delay the implementation of the president's health care plan. And even though Kathleen Sebelius plans to appear before Congress this week, there are still calls for the Health and Human Services Secretary to resign. Heather Sells reports.
The rollout has been a disaster, and so what I'm proposing is that we extend the period in which people can enroll.
The pressure on Obamacare is mounting, with Democrats calling for delays and even Saturday Night Live making fun of the nightmare rollout.
Unfortunately, the site was only designed to handle 6 users at a time. So if you're in a rush, consider using our low-res website with simpler fonts and graphics.
Republicans are looking forward to questioning Secretary Sebelius on Wednesday as calls for her to resign continue to grow.
We want her to talk with us before she is out the door, but I tell you, the incompetence in building this website is staggering. When I am talking to healthcare professionals and constituents, they say, how in the world can you expect the federal government to handle 1/6 of the economy when there is this type of staggering incompetence on a website rollout?
The secretary is now promising that the government will fix the website by the end of November. But Republicans say the catastrophe brings into question whether the execution and delivery of Obamacare will prove equally problematic.
I'll tell you, as a doctor, I want to make sure that patients can actually get affordable, high-quality care. The website was supposed to be the easy part of this. So I see actually this is just the tip of the iceberg of problems with bigger problems to come.
This is an incompetent rollout, but it's symptomatic of a liberal ideology that believes government should be running our health care. Maybe they'll bring in Al Gore, the guy who says he invented the internet. Maybe they'll fix the website. But the bigger issue is this is symptomatic. We don't need the government running our health care.
One debate on Capitol Hill this week, just how to effectively manage delays in the program, including delays on penalties for those remaining uninsured. The administration has proposed extending the grace period until March 31st, an extra 6 weeks. Democrat Senator Joe Manchin wants a 1-year delay. The government originally planned that 500,000 Americans would enroll for coverage this month, but it now appears the number will only be a fraction of that. Heather Sells, CBN News.
A federal judge in Texas says the state's new abortion restrictions are unconstitutional. Today's ruling will block the measures that were set to go into effect tomorrow. The judge says the law would violate the rights of abortion doctors to do what they deem best for their patients and would unreasonably restrict a woman's access to an abortion clinic. Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott is expected to file an emergency appeal of the ruling to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans.
Cadets at the U.S. Air Force Academy are no longer required to say, "So help me God," at the end of the honor oath. The oath says, "We will not lie, steal, or cheat, nor tolerate among us anyone who does. Furthermore, I resolve to do my duty and to live honorably, so help me God." Cadets are required to repeat the oath every year, but after a complaint by the Military Religious Freedom Foundation, the reference to God is now optional. Cadets can still say, "So help me God," if they desire. The Army and Navy academies do not include a religious reference at the end of their oaths.
Gay marriage activists are working in more than 20 states to try to redefine marriage. As Ephraim Graham reports, they're filing lawsuits, targeting county clerks, and hoping for a big win in the president's home state.
Supporters of traditional marriage recently rallied in Illinois. Thousands gathered at the Capitol to urge lawmakers to back traditional marriage, even as a smaller crowd of gay activists gathered. And for the second time this year, success, as traditional marriage supporters held off a vote in this high-stakes state.
It is where Barack Obama came from. It is the state that he promised the LGBT community and lobbyists that he would be able to win for them.
Lance Davis and other conservatives say black lawmakers in the Illinois House are making the difference, refusing to redefine marriage. In the South, LGBT activists are using a different strategy. Gay couples are targeting county clerks, asking them to record their marriage licenses from other states. They're even using the tactic in North Carolina, where voters just last year approved a constitutional amendment in favor of traditional marriage.
What we wanted to do was just to create a public record of our marriage.
I did not see any legal reason why I could not record that document.
The National Organization for Marriage says filing gay marriage licenses in these states is illegal, and it predicts the cases will ultimately end up in court.
A same-sex couple who is issued an illegal or invalid same-sex marriage license in a state such as North Carolina invariably will take it to the courts, and they will use it as a lever to try to invalidate that state's constitutional amendment to define marriage in one man and one woman.
In New Mexico, the Supreme Court will soon decide on the issue. Its consideration was forced after 7 county clerks began issuing same-sex marriage licenses in absence of any state law explicitly defining marriage. What just happened in New Jersey may strengthen the case for gay marriage. A judge there ruled the state must allow gay marriages in order to comply with Supreme Court rulings this summer. Lawsuits in 20 other states are making the same case, but traditional marriage supporters disagree.
They're using an incorrect reading of the Windsor decision because in the defense of marriage, the states are still allowed by Section 2 to define marriage for themselves.
At this point, 14 states have redefined marriage to include gay couples, and 35 states have banned gay marriage. They're numbers that could drastically change depending on how these tactics play out. Ephraim Graham, CBN News.
Coming up, why some Christians head to the Holy Land to help harvest crops.
In 2008, my husband Gary departed for heaven. I was still grieving. And then to find out I had cancer, I began praying, God, how do I do this? Where do I do this? Cancer Treatment Centers of America was the place. Dr. Neelam outlined a plan that would take care of my mind and my body, and she prayed with me.
For Bible-believing Christians, we're able to pray with them in a much deeper way as they begin to really rely upon their faith.
At Cancer Treatment Centers of America, we believe in the power of faith and prayer as indispensable allies in the fight against complex and advanced stage cancer.
I'm back in Telluride on the mountain skiing. I feel strong and healthy.
Advanced medicine and technology.
And I am a survivor.
The warm embrace of the Spirit and the power of prayer.
These are happy tears.
Please go to cancercenter.com/faith. Appointments available now. Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Care that never quits.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
A U.S. drone strike has killed 2 senior members of the terrorist organization Al-Shabaab. A U.S. official confirms the attack took place today near the Kenyan border. One Al-Shabaab member says one of those killed was Ibrahim Ali Abdi, the organization's top explosives expert known as ANTA. Today's strike comes weeks after United States Navy SEALs attacked a coastal Somali town to take down a Kenyan Al-Shabaab member. The SEALs withdrew before capturing or killing their target.
Syrian government forces have retaken the Christian town of Saadad north of Damascus. State media says the army restored security and stability to the town. Al-Qaeda-linked groups captured key parts of Saadad a week ago, apparently because of its strategic location. Rebels vandalized one of the town's churches and much of its infrastructure. The UN Arab League envoy is trying to prepare a peace conference on Syria set to take place in Geneva next month.
Hundreds of Christians travel to Israel each year to help farmers harvest crops. The help is not only appreciated, it also fulfills Bible prophecy. Our Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell explains.
These Christians help bring in the grape harvest for Israeli farmers. They're part of a group called Hayuvel. That's Hebrew for Jubilee.
We're a group of Christian volunteers from America and from Canada and from all over the world who have come to help the Jewish people, specifically in Samaria and Judea, usually referred to as the West Bank.
This vineyard is in Ophrah, not far from biblical Shiloh. More than 300 volunteers work 30,000 man-hours to bring in nearly 400 tons of grapes across Judea and Samaria over the last 3 months.
You get to see the thankfulness on the owners' faces when you help them out.
Zach Waller directs Hayuvel. His parents came up with the idea as a way to serve Israel about 9 years ago. They hoped actions would speak louder than words to help repair relations between Jews and Christians caused by 2,000 years of persecution.
Dad said, hey, this is an opportunity that we have as believers in Yeshua, Messiah, that we can come in and serve and try to restore this relationship.
Then they discovered they were actually fulfilling Bible prophecy, such as Isaiah 61:5 and Jeremiah 31:5.
You will see nations coming to the land, working in the vines, helping the Jewish people. It says in the Bible, it's happening.
Local Jewish resident Aaron Lipkin sees the Christian love as a healing ointment.
Everything that is happening here is a big miracle. It's part of a process called redemption.
Team leader David Johnson oversees about 30 volunteers. This is the 3rd season here for him and his wife.
We have a heart for the Jewish people settling the land of Israel, and it's a heart that we've been given by our Messiah, and we're here to help them.
I'm happy very much because when we walk, we sing, we see the man is very, very happy.
Rick Pauls feels so strongly about the work that he brought his wife and 5 children to pick grapes for a 2nd year.
We feel very protected by God and by the Israeli securities. It's amazing to be here because as you read the scriptures here in this place, it just comes alive.
His wife Karen calls it an opportunity to give. But the biggest impact was just meeting the Jewish people.
Their faith is absolutely unbelievable. No one has been untouched by something pretty intense in their life. I mean, it's not for fame or glory. It's hard. And they just believe in the promises of God.
I mean, just being here is just blowing me away. Just being able to serve the Jewish people to enhance his kingdom here on earth.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Ophrah, Samaria.
Up next, the Clash of the Titans debate pitting presidential advisors against a former Speaker of the House. CBN News brings you an exclusive look next.
From CBN.
Broken Eardrum is playing at the Civic tonight.
And you'll just have to miss it.
This is so incredibly unfair.
A special story of love and sacrifice.
Joy, Mom comes up with something.
Christopher Quantum, you and I are going to discuss your attitude right this minute. Superbook.
No.
Join the Superbook DVD Club and get Superbook's newest episode, He is Risen. plus 2 copies to share with others, all for your gift of $25.
They have arrested Jesus, the Messiah.
Do you not know that I have the power to crucify you?
No! Please! You can't! They've taken him to Golgotha. We must hurry.
Mary is about to lose her son. The worst thing any mother could face. I am not leaving her.
Superbook. It's an amazing way to build a strong spiritual foundation in the children you love.
Mary, who are you looking for?
I've seen him! He is alive!
Superbook. He is risen. Available now.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Welcome back. From healthcare to government shutdowns to the NSA scandal, political wars play out 24 hours a day in the national media.
And in the midst of it all, Regent University hosted the 11th annual Clash of the Titans debate. As John Waggy explains in tonight's Focus Report, the event was a welcome break from toxic politics as usual.
2 warriors from the left, Obama advisors David Axelrod and David Plouffe, faced 2 warriors from the right, former Speaker Newt Gingrich and religious liberties attorney Jay Sekulow, with former White House Press Secretary Dana Perino as the moderator. The topic, the power of the U.S. presidency and the executive branch.
So here's the question. Presidential power. Has the executive branch gone too far? Yes.
But the fact is that presidential power and executive power has expanded over time, and in part that's by necessity.
According to the latest Rasmussen poll, 75% of Americans believe the country is on the wrong track. Republicans are the most upset, followed closely by independents and then Democrats. With voter concern and anger at Washington at near record levels, Clash of the Titans was an opportunity to carry out a debate over the issues of the day in a little more peaceful environment. In an exclusive interview with CBN News, Axelrod dismissed the intense criticism of Obamacare, perhaps the leading point of conflict in the Capitol.
I'm proud of the health reform, and I think ultimately it's going to prove to be a major step forward.
But Gingrich told us the health care fight will get even more intense.
Obamacare is such a disaster. And it's not going to be 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. It is going to go on and on and on.
The Democrats claim the president has to take the lead in today's government because in times of national crisis, Congress can't move quickly.
The gridlock doesn't seem like it's going to get any better anytime soon. And presidents, from Reagan to Clinton to both Bushes to President Obama, you're going to see more and more their agendas being, if not thwarted, seriously undermined.
But Gingrich says the Founding Fathers deliberately put Congress ahead of the presidency in the Constitution.
The presidency, despite modern television, is, in fact, second. If you read the Constitution, Article 1, Section 1 is the Congress, not the presidency. This is deliberate. The Founding Fathers wanted to avoid dictatorship.
All the participants know they'll be back in the intense political fray, but everyone from the debaters to the audience to the moderator seemed to enjoy the breath of fresh air provided by the civil discourse.
I dare say it may will go down in history as the best Clash of the Titans so far. Let's give yourselves a hand as well. Thank you for being here this afternoon.
John Waggy, CBN News.
Up next, a heroic father returning from deployment goes into disguise to surprise his daughter.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need, just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions, just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card, just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Costumes and candy are pretty common this time of year.
Yeah, father in Iowa recently used that to his advantage. Recently home from Afghanistan, Sergeant First Class Dave Wirtz wanted to surprise his daughter, so he dressed up as Spider-Man and paid her elementary school class a visit. Jessie was chosen as the class hero, so she got to take a photo with the superhero.
I'll probably cry a little bit.
All right, Jessie, turn around, son. Thank you.
Thank you. Daddy.
Hey, buddy.
Like that?
I'm just glad that he's home because I really missed him.
There's nothing on top of it. This will be probably, I'll remember this the rest of my life, and my daughter will too.
Oh, that's awesome. For the Wirtz family, the surprise makes the season one to remember. Wow, they are never going to forget that.
I never tire of seeing those wonderful homecoming surprises.
Me too. I love them. Love them.
That's all the time we have for this edition of NewsWatch.
Remember, you can email us your comments and questions at newswatch@cbn.com. Hope you'll join us next time.